Hi there, this is Traci with the Cherryville Branch Library. I have another virtual story time for you today. Today is brought to you by the letter F. Upper and lowercase f. F goes fa, fa, fa. Lots of letter F words I have for you today. Some fun ones. Fun isn't a letter F word. This first thing is something that you would see possibly in your house in a very specific place. You could see it as tiny as on the head of a match, or it could be really, really large, maybe out of control. You have to have somebody come and put it out. You might think of it when you go camping and you roast marshmallows over it. That was a good clue, wasn't it? Did you say fire? Yes, fire is a letter F word. This next one is something you would see on a bird. It's what they have instead of hair or fur. Fur is another letter F word, isn't it? Yes. What do birds have? Birds have, that's right, feathers. And sometimes you'll see feathers on the ground. Birds' feathers sometimes come out just like our hair does, or I'm sure if you have a dog or a cat, you've seen their fur come out. All right. A pet, or possibly something you would see in the wild. They swim, so you find them in water. They can be very, very small, or they can be really, really big. Sometimes you see them in a bowl. That's when it's a pet. Or maybe it's something that you go, and then you reel in. That was a good clue too, wasn't it? Did you say fish? I like the fish. I love that he's smiling. He's a happy fish. He's probably somebody's pet swimming in a bowl. I bet he's well taken care of. This next thing is typically a wild animal. You might see it out in a forest. Starts with the letter F. Sort of looks a little like a dog, but it's not a dog. You usually think of them as being very sneaky or sly, maybe even cunning. Do you know what I'm thinking of? Rhymes with box. That was good. Yes, fox. Oh, I had his head turned upside down. Sorry about that. Fox. Sometimes rhymes are good clues, aren't they? This next thing is something you might use if your air conditioning were to go out in the middle of the summer, which we definitely hope doesn't happen, right? You might have one, if you don't have air conditioning, you might have one that you plug in. Has some things that go around, tries to cool the air, or you might have one that you use like this. That would probably be paper. That's right, it's a fan. Right now it's hot enough, I'm thinking air conditioning and a fan would be a good idea. It's hot. This one, there's no real easy clue, so I'm just gonna put up this many fingers. Can you count my fingers? Yes, if you count my fingers. How many fingers did you come up with? This should be number, that's right, it is number 5. We do a lot of counting of numbers here, don't we? Up to 5, down from 5. And finally, this last thing is something that you eat with. It's not a spoon, it's not a knife. What's that other thing that you might use? It's very hard to get peas on this. That's right, it's a fork. I love trying to stab peas with a fork, but it's kind of hard. Peas are round, they roll, right? And there is our uppercase F, and there are our letter F words. But just like last time, there's a word up here. Well, there's not a word up here actually, but one of my favorite words, frog. I know there's no frogs up here. I have a couple of things I like to do with frogs. I'm going to tell you about a book, actually a nonfiction book. I forgot, there's another letter F word. I forgot to make sure that I had a copy of the book though. So again, I had to print a picture. It is Frogs by Nic Bishop. It's a wonderful publication that he did. It is nonfiction, so this is true information about frogs. It has some really awesome pictures in it, and I like to share it with kids because one of the most important things is to remember, not all frogs are green. That's right. You don't believe me? But wait. These are pictures that Mr. Bishop took of what are called poison dart frogs. Now you'll notice that frog, it's not green, is it? No, he's blue. And what about that frog? That's right, he's bright red. Why do you think they look so colorful? Yes, they're trying to say, stay away from me. I am not something good to eat, because they're poison dart frogs. So you don't want to touch them, and if you're a predator, you definitely don't want to try to eat them. That's just 2 of the examples of the frogs in his book. There's lots of very interesting frogs in there. Now, I like garden variety frogs. In fact, I really like speckled frogs. So I thought, you know what? Here's my frogs. Maybe we should sing a song about 5 speckled frogs sitting on a log. Yeah, I know you've probably heard this one before, but it's always a good one, right? 5 little speckled frogs sitting upon a log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. Rub your tummy when you say the yum yums. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 4 little speckled frogs. Ribbit, ribbit. See, now we have 4. 4 little speckled frogs sitting upon a log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 3 little speckled frogs. Ribbit, ribbit. So you should have 3 there, right? 3 little speckled frogs sitting upon a log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 2 little speckled frogs. Ribbit, ribbit. 2 little speckled frogs sitting upon a log, eating, you got it, some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there is 1 little speckled frog. Ribbit, ribbit. 1 little speckled frog sitting upon a log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. He jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are no more speckled frogs. Yep, there's no ribbits this time. There's no more speckled frogs, right? All of our frogs are gone. And if you ever want to hear about a wide-mouthed frog, there's several different tales. This is actually a folklore about a wide-mouthed frog. This is one that I like to read in Storytime. You'll notice it's a pop-up book. We don't typically have pop-up books available for checkout, but if you come to a Storytime, when we can do those in person again, we do a lot of the pop-ups. They're fun, but that's a very old-fashioned story. You could probably look up different versions online. So I think, you know what I do have? I have fish. So I think we'll take all these off the board here and we'll put them away, except for the word fish. I happen to have some fish. I have fish that go in a bowl. Here is my bowl. I'm going to adjust my flannel board here a little to make sure my flannel actually stays on the board. There we go. So there's my fish bowl. And here are my fish. What color's that one? That's right, I got a blue fish and a green fish. There's one way up there up top trying to get away. He's orange. There's a yellow one, and finally, that's right, I have a pink one. So how many fish do you see there? Ah, that's right. That was one of our letter F words, right? Let me find it. There are 5. So we'll actually put that up on the board too. There are 5 fish. 5 fish in my bowl, right? 5 fancy goldfish at the pet store. I'll buy one for my mommy. Now there are, that's right, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, 4 is a letter F word as well, right? 4 fancy goldfish looking at me. I'll get one from my daddy. Now there are 3. 1, 2, and 3. 3 fancy goldfish in a fishbowl. They outgrew. I'll get one from my grandma. And then there were 2. There's our 2. What color goldfish do we have left? We have a blue one and a pink one, right? 2 fancy goldfish, scales shining in the sun. I want one for my grandpa. And now there's just, that's right, there's only one left, right? 1 fancy goldfish swimming just for fun. I'll take this one home with me. And now there are none. That's right, there's no more goldfish, are there? Aw, that's sad that there's no more fish. But that's right, we started with 5 fish. We are doing fairy tales this week at the Cherryville Branch, so I thought I would show you something like this. This is a real easy version of the 3 Little Pigs. It is an R, which means it's an early reader. 3 Little Pigs is a very old fairy tale, so there's lots and lots of different versions. This being an early reader means it's got very, very simple words used. If you're just starting at putting words together and reading. Sometimes they're what I call like a fractured fairy tale, where the fairy tale's not quite how you normally hear it. This is a really neat version of The 3 Pigs by David Wiesner. He's actually won some awards, including for this one. It was a Caldecott. Do you remember what Caldecotts are? If you saw us last week? That's right. Caldecott Award winners win for the very best pictures in a children's book. This one is the story of the 3 pigs, and it starts normally, but then things take a very different turn. That is the end of our story time this week. I hope you've enjoyed it. Remember letter F, and we will see you again next week. Bye-bye.